I'm Valerie. It's nice to meet you guys. This is my first official YouTube video. I really wanted to come on here and share my story, share my fertility journey and what I've been going through, and hopefully I can relate to somebody out there. I've watched so many of these videos that have helped me, but I haven't really found one that related to what I'm going through. I mean, infertility could be so many different things. There's unexplained infertility, there's endometriosis, there's PCOS, and then like 20 other things on top of that that us women go through. So it was really hard for me to find a video that really was about endometriosis and shared a journey going through IVF. So that's what I'm here for. So hopefully I can help one of you through your journey of having a baby. So I'm going to kind of back it up and tell you a little bit more about me. So I am from California and I have two dogs, Brooklyn and Diesel. They're my babies currently, and they will always be my babies. I love them very much. Me and my husband got married about 2.5 years ago, almost 3 years. And about 2.5 years ago, we started trying. So the day I got married, we started trying. I was really excited to have a baby. And about a year in, we realized, okay, there's something going on here. And to kind of talk a little bit more, I always, my whole life, thought I had endometriosis. Like, my periods have always been horrible. When I was 14, the doctor told my mom that your daughter needs to go on birth control. My mom was like, no way, like, she's too young. And he was like, her periods are really, really bad. Obviously, endometriosis was never even brought up back then, which is kind of annoying. And so I got put on birth control at 14 years old. My periods, when I say bad, it was like throwing up, heating pad, out of school for like 3 days. Like, it was really, really bad. So even on birth control, I had to switch it up like every year. But even on birth control, it was pretty painful periods, but it was definitely never as bad as it was when I was a child. So I knew I pretty much had endometriosis and that what was wrong with me. So in about a 1.5 years later of trying, that's when we started seeing a fertility specialist. And she also thought, from me explaining what's going on, she thought I had endometriosis. But if you have endometriosis, really the only way to find out you have endometriosis is to do surgery, which is something I didn't want to do. I wasn't sure I wanted to do. So I kind of wanted to do everything else first and then have that be like the last resort. So I did a lot of research. Like I said, I couldn't find a lot of videos, but I did talk, hear a lot of specialists saying like, try the fertility stuff and try IVF. And then if that doesn't work, try the surgery. Just because the surgery actually can make your fertility worse. It's also like, why put yourself through such a difficult surgery when you can do something like IVF, which I don't know, I would probably compare them because IVF is a lot of work. I mean, I'm on day 1, which I'll talk about, but I've done IUIs and it's a lot of work and it's a lot of pain and it's a lot of emotions and it's a lot of hot flashes. Like, Lord, did I go through a lot of hot flashes. So I did, so during my infertility journey, seeing my specialist, it was kind of slow. Like, I wasn't in a rush. I'm young. I'm 29 years old. I was like, I'm fine. They checked my husband out. He's, the best possible thing you can have, he has. He is like so excited that his sperm count and all of that stuff is amazing. He brags it to me all the time. If you guys have any husbands that do that and they're like, oh my God. And he tells all of his friends like, my sperm is amazing. I have super sperm. Men sometimes just don't know what to say. Like, that's not the nicest thing to say, honey. Because here I am dealing with these issues, but it's okay. I love him. So he's all good. I possibly have endometriosis. We're about to start an IUI cycle, or thinking about it. And then I took my mom to the hospital because she was acting a little strange. This is during COVID, so they were like really strict. They're like, does she really need to be here? And I'm like, she just keeps repeating herself. So I kept thinking she had a stroke. And me and my mom, like, very, very close. She's my best friend. And sorry to say, a couple tests later, they found out she had a brain tumor. And then about a week later, we found out after surgery that she had glioblastoma. If you guys don't know what that is, it's a brain cancer that is stage 4. So it's the worst type of brain cancer you really can have. And it is terminal. Sorry, couldn't get that out. So it is a terminal cancer. And when I found that out, my world stopped. I didn't know what to do. I didn't want to move. COVID was happening, so I was like, I wanted to be safe because I didn't want to get my mom sick. Like, there was just so much happening. And me and her were talking outside, and she just goes, and she has no idea that I was seeing a specialist. It was just something that, like, some of us, and it's fine if you're very vocal about it, but in the beginning I was very private about it. It was just me and my husband who knew. And I just really wanted to surprise people to be pregnant. I didn't want to like people to know I was getting pregnant. So when people would ask me, I would be like, oh yeah, it's going to happen someday. I don't know. I'm working a lot. Like, nonchalant, even though I was like really, really trying. And so my husband was like, sorry, I just got a text message. My husband was like, Val, like, we shouldn't stop this. We should keep going with the fertility. And I was just so sad. And so when I was sitting with my mom one day, going back to my story, Valerie, geez, she's staring at me and we're talking, and she goes, Val, I'm going to die. Either, 1 month from now or 5 years from now or, 10 years from now. And I mean, 5 years is like a miracle, and I would love at least 5 more years with my mom. She goes, the one thing I ask is give me a grandchild. She already has grandbabies from my brother, but there's something different from a mother to mother, or mother to daughter relationship. And, I'm sorry if like some of you guys just don't have your loved ones or mom or dad with you. And I feel for you, and my heart goes out to you. And just thinking that my mom wasn't gonna be there was just, my baby was just like devastating. Not only was I going through this, but now I had to think about all the things that my mom was gonna miss. And when she asked me that, she had no idea it was a struggle for me. And she'd hate herself if she knew that, and she said that. And so I called my doctor, and I was like, I gotta keep going. We gotta do this as quick as we can. And so I did 2 IUIs, and they were obviously both failed IUIs. During this time, I found a lot, I don't know about you guys, but I've learned a lot about my body during this journey. And I feel like since I've been off birth control, like my endometriosis is getting worse, and especially taking some of this fertility medication. Before I started seeing the fertility specialist, I went to the hospital, really bad pain on the side of like right here. I think they call it like flank pain or something. And it was so painful that my husband had to take me to the ER. They thought it was kidney stones. They gave me some medication, did a CT scan, didn't think they saw anything. And they were just like, well, it could be really small or something, and sent me along my way. And then during my first IUI, right as I was starting, so I started just taking Clomid. I was still on my period. I started to get that pain again. It was even worse, and it was so painful. And I even tried to sleep through it because I'm like, if this is just a kidney stone, I don't want to spend all this money and go to the hospital. And I tried to do everything I could to not go to the hospital, and I just couldn't. Like, my husband had to rush me to the hospital, and they did a CT scan again, and this time it was with Kaiser, so it was a different doctor. Before, I didn't have Kaiser. The doctor goes, are you on your period? And I was like, yeah. And he goes, the last time this happened, were you on your period? And I remember I said, they asked me if I was pregnant, and I laughed because I was like, no, I'm not pregnant, I'm on my period. And they're like, are you sure? I'm like, I know I'm on my period. So I was like, yeah, I was on my period the last time. And he goes, so I think you have endometriosis on your liver. What? Like, you should have seen my reaction. I was like, are you kidding me? Is that even a thing? Like, And he was like, yeah, you know, it's very rare, but that's what it looks like. You have, I don't want to say lesions. What is it? I think it's lesions. You have like lesions on your liver. I'm correct. I'm sorry if I'm wrong. Like, I don't know any of the names for any of this mumbo jumbo, but I'm really bad at just remembering people's names. So remembering names that the doctors give me, it's really hard. So he gave me some medication to help alleviate the pain. And I went on my way, and I did an MRI. He sent me to like a specialist, and, you know, I've done all this stuff, and it hasn't grown, so they're not worried. It's been a few months, and it hasn't grown, so they're not worried. I talked to a doctor, and he's like, you could do one or two things. You can do surgery. We could see, because it's either endometriosis or it's something really bad, which could be cancerous, but everything looks good, so they don't think it's cancer, and it's not growing. And we can do surgery, and we can do everything. We can check your, I think I have it in my bladder because I get really bad cramps after I urinate. So I'm sorry, or after I pee. Urinate's a weird word. After I pee, I get really, really bad cramps. And when I'm on my period, so like during my period. And then I've had some, how do you say this in an appropriate way? I think I have it in my colon. I'm not going to go into detail, but there's been some things that's happened during my period that I think I have it there as well. And obviously my bad cramping. I have I don't even know what you call those. I don't even know the word. And I'm not even going to try and describe it because it's nasty. Blood clots. There we go. So I have like really big blood clots, like all these things that like you would have when you have endometriosis. So he's like, okay, so we could do the surgery. We could go there. We could go down there. We could look at everything. You can do it. Let's do a colonoscopy. He wants to do everything. But he's like, but if you're trying to get pregnant, like try to get pregnant, do the IVF. And they say like pregnancy sometimes really helps endometriosis, fingers crossed. So I said, okay, let's wait on that. Let me try IVF, and then I'll kind of reconsider if I want to do the surgery, because it can either hurt or harm your fertility. So I'm not really sure what I want to do. And then, so here I am. Done 2 IUIs, obviously both failed IUIs, and both ones, the first one I did Clomid, and then that didn't really work well with me. And then I did, I don't know what it, like, I think it starts with an L. It's the other one that they'll put you on if you don't do Clomid. And then they did, like, after the end of that one, they did like 2 shots of Menopur for me. Oh my gosh, were my ovaries huge. Or I had, not my ovaries, I'm sorry, my follicles. My follicles, I had so many follicles and they were so big. So, not so many follicles. Sorry, they wouldn't want to do it then. I'm like just over exaggerating. This is me. I think I had 2 big follicles. But I think that's still good, right? They were really good. She was like, oh my God, you're ready to go. So still didn't work. And you know, anything about, like, if you guys have questions about IUIs, there's so much information out there, but really painless. I think I didn't do enough research. So I thought there was like a really good chance I could get pregnant, but I was actually, after doing research, saw that not a lot of people get pregnant with IUIs. I even have friends who've done IUIs and got pregnant and now are struggling. They can't get pregnant doing an IUI for the second one. Like, it's not that common that you get pregnant with IUIs. I think it's definitely something to try like once or twice, but I would just like call it a day after 2. Like, you're spending a lot of money. And I know thinking, okay, we got it. IVF is such like, oh my gosh, like to me, it was like in the beginning, I was like, IVF, like I'm never going to get to that point. No, it's not going to be me. Like, that's so crazy. Now I'm like, IVF isn't going to be that difficult. I've gone through 2 IUIs. I've done this. I've done that. I'm stronger than I ever have been. And I want a freaking baby. So I'm going to do what I have to do. And I know it's not going to happen naturally. And I've tried, you know, so many times and had so many disappointments and spent so much money on pregnancy tests. So I think it's time. I think I've probably spent as much money on pregnancy tests as I did this medication. Okay, maybe that's a little dramatic, but you guys know what I mean if you guys are going through this. So yeah, so fun times. I have endometriosis pretty much everywhere in my body, and but everything looks good. Like, I had 1 cyst last month. When I used to see my doctor, like my OB, like before my fertility journey, I used to have cysts all the time, but for some reason, someone up there or something is like, don't give her any cysts. So we were supposed to start IVF last month and we didn't because I ended up having a cyst for the first time in like a year and a half. So today I went to the doctor's. I am about 2 days into my period, 3 days. So I went to go do an ultrasound and everything looked amazing. Like, that was her words. She's like, they look amazing. Do I remember what she said? No. So I mean, she said my lining looked good. My follicles look good. I think she said like I had 5 on each side. I don't even know if that's a thing, but she said it looked great. So she's getting me started. I did do estrus which was like an estrogen. So I didn't do any birth control. I did estrogen like right after I ovulated until my period, and she just had me stop that last night. So now, fun stuff, the medication that costs so much money. So to kind of talk about how much I spent about $3,000 on medication, which I think some people might even spend more. So I have this, it's Gonal, which is what I'm taking at night right now. So she wants me starting today. I'm taking this at night, 1 injection, around 6 to 8 o'clock at night. And then Menopur I'm taking every morning from 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. And I'm doing 2 powder vials with like 1 of the liquids or 1 cm of the liquids. And I'm doing this in the morning. So fun things. I have done Menopur once before, like I said previously. I did like 2 vials before my last IUI, and it seemed fine. I think my biggest side effect for all of this stuff is, one, I'm always hungry. So I feel like during this whole journey, and if you're with me, I feel like I've gained weight. Like, I've been wanting to lose weight because when you get pregnant, I want to be like the healthiest I've ever been. But I think, one, the stress of doing with all this, and then this stuff just makes me hungry. Like, I'm hungry all day long and I'm like bloated and I just want to like munch, and I feel like I'm on my period. So I'm just like, you know, sorry for the sound effects. So also the worst side effect for me was it gives me really bad hot flashes, mainly in the middle of the night where it's like 65 degrees in my house and I'm like sweating and I'm yelling at my husband, oh my God, it's so hot in here. And he's like, you're crazy. It's really not hot at all. So but you know what? That's the side effects I can deal. But we'll see. I'll keep you guys updated on that. I have no idea what these are for yet. She said they'll let me know. I have a whole calendar, but these aren't on them yet. So I think they'll, after they start checking on me, they'll tell me when I need this. But I have, okay, so this, I think, looking at it now, I think this is to help me ovulate. But it's just a different packaging. I've never used a packaging like this. So I think this is to help me ovulate. Because it says it's yeah, I don't know. And then I also have this, which needs to be refrigerated. I just took it out of the fridge. Cetratide. Don't know what this is for. Guess we'll see. And then obviously I have like syringes, and then I have my Sharps container. And then, yeah, so what I'm planning, I was planning to do, I should have Googled this before, but I think it's called a PSG, or if you're going through this, you probably know what I'm talking about, but it's to really like check the quality of check all the chromosomes to make sure that your embryo is like the healthiest it possibly can be. And it really helps with, you know, ensuring like you don't have miscarriages or children don't have like Down syndrome or any other birth defects. So I really wanted to do it because when they say you have endometriosis, they say the quality of your eggs are worse. And I kind of wanted to just do like one and done, but after spending all this money on this and then all the money that's going to come after this, I just can't get myself to spend $5,000 to do it. It's just crazy. I don't know. We're still kind of debating. I think it's going to determine, like, I don't know if my doctor will let me determine this, but how many good eggs I get. Like, I'm thinking if I only have, not good eggs, but if I only have 2 good embryos, like, to me, it's not worth it. I'd rather just transfer both embryos and see if one of them sticks, or if twins, I could definitely, I don't know if I could deal with twins, but I'd love twins. I think it would be pretty cool. And then, you know, so what's the point? If I have 2 or 1 good, you know, there's no point to do this. So I think that's really where I'm at. If I have maybe 2 to 3 good embryos, I'm not gonna do it. If I have like 4 to 5 good embryos, which I don't know what's a good number, I'm not there yet. I might have more information later for you guys, but then at that point I'll probably decide to do it. I don't know. Comment below if you guys have any suggestions. I think this is what like YouTubers do. Comment below. Yeah, so that's my journey. It's a pretty crazy one. Endometriosis. Mom's very sick, but I have such a loving family. Oh my God, do I have the most amazing family. My mother-in-law, whew, you guys wish you had a mother-in-law like mine. So very supportive. My mom actually has no idea I'm going through any of this, and you guys can comment below on what you guys think I should do. I haven't told her, and I think the main reason why I haven't told her is because I don't want to give her more stress, and I don't want her to like, I don't want her to be stressed out, and I don't want her to feel bad for what she said when she was first diagnosed, if she even remembers. I don't want it to be all about this. Like when I'm with her, I want it to be about me and her. My husband keeps telling me I need to tell her. It is hard keeping a secret. But I just want to like surprise her and be like, hey mom, guess what? I'm pregnant. Like I don't want her to know all the crap I had to go through, because she's gone through herself. I mean, it took her a long time to get pregnant the first time and the second time. And then she did have a miscarriage. I think it took her 4 years to get pregnant with my brother, and then another 4 years to get pregnant with me. And then in between that, she had a miscarriage. So it took her about 2 years to get pregnant after my brother. So, and then my grandma, my dad's side, actually only had 1 kid, and she struggled getting pregnant for a long time too. Back then they didn't have any of this. My mom went and saw a specialist, but they were just like, don't go in the jacuzzi and stop stressing out. Like literally that's what they told her. I've done that. I've tried to meditate. I stopped taking baths. I love baths. I stopped drinking alcohol. I started eating healthy, like nothing changed. So I actually am not going to drink any alcohol during this IVF cycle. I'm going to try and just do 1 cup of coffee. I used to have like a couple. And I'm going to just walk every day. Like, I don't think I'm going to intensely work out. I don't work out anyway, so I don't think my body is used to working out, so I shouldn't. But I think I'm just going to go on walks. If you guys have any suggestions on anything I should do or anything I should eat, let me know and comment below. But hopefully this helps you guys, and I'm excited to kind of just give you guys weekly updates. I have my next appointment on Monday to kind of just do a quick ultrasound. They don't think they're gonna really see anything crazy, but they just wanna see my progress. And then I have like another ultrasound like 3 days after that. So I think it's just gonna continue going on. They think I'm actually gonna start my egg retrieval. I think it was like the 22nd. So we'll see how that goes. But thanks for sticking along. Sorry about my tears. But you know what? We're all here for each other, and know that I'm always somebody that you guys can reach out to if you ever need anything. And yeah, love you guys. Stay strong, please. Stay strong. We're in this together.